Teen, everything teen girls and boys should know about relationships, sex, love, health, identity, and more. I am so excited about this book.
Thank you. It's a good book.
It's so well needed. So you've been writing it, you've been working on it for 20 years.
Well, it took me 3 years to get the book done, but I've been working with adolescents for almost 30 years. I ran a children's camp in California for 15 years, and then I started these
organizations. I really need to write this.
You know, I wanted a book, and parents were asking me for a book that wasn't just about sex. You know, there's so many books about what's happening to your body. Like, you know, I got given a book like that. I was more interested in feelings. You know, adolescence is the time where you develop your identity. You begin to separate from your parents and figure out who you want to be. And you know, how can you resist the pressure from the media and everything, sexting and bullying and all these things that kids deal with, figuring out what your values are. And I wanted to do a holistic book. And the profits go to my nonprofit in Georgia. And, you know, it's easy to love babies. They're all cuddly, and, you know. But suddenly along come the adolescents, and they're prickly. And
goes off when they're 14.
Right. I remember seeing a sign on a restaurant door, "Quick, hire an adolescent while they still know everything." You know, and as parents, we know, you know, they act like it. They don't want us to talk to them like you're an old fogey.
Let me talk about your adolescence, because you had
it was not easy. That's one of the reasons that I wanted. If I had had this book, it would have been a lot easier. My mother died when I was 12. I didn't get my period till I was 17.
Not only did your mother die when you were 12, which was tough enough, but your mother committed suicide.
Right.
And how do you get over that? And a father whom you loved, who was remote. How did your and busy? I ask this question so often when I do interviews about the childhood. How did your adolescence affect the woman you are today?
Well, it took me about 70 years to get over it. You know, you do it in stages if you care. I mean, I've worked hard to become a whole person and get over those, you know, those early scars. But when I was a young teen, remember Christine Jorgensen? Most of you were too young. It was the first publicized case of a man who became a woman.
Transgender.
Okay, I'm 16. Every single girl I know has her period, and I don't. I used to buy boxes of Kotex and throw one out every day to pretend, because I was ashamed. And I used to think maybe I'm a boy.
And this book, I actually read the book because
I had nobody to go to.
I read the book because I know nothing about sex. I had one of those moms that said, "You know nothing about sex." I got to tell you, I had a mother that says, I do have two children, but I had the kind of mother that refused to talk about sex. And I got my period at 11, and I had so many questions, and she was like, "Just keep your legs closed."
That's right.
That was the advice that I got. So I did read the book, but I got to tell you, I'm one of those parents that's uncomfortable talking about sex, of course. And on one page, I don't know if everyone can see it, but there's a diagram of the stuff going into the stuff.
How it's done.
And I just wonder, you know, what do you say to people that think this is kind of explicit?
It is explicit.
You know, think about what happens when young teens, and I've worked with them for 30 years. Young teens literally don't know what the sex act is, don't know where babies come from. First of all, they don't know how to say no. They're afraid if they say no, they won't be popular. And they think if they have sex, if they stand up right afterwards, they won't get pregnant. I mean, the amount of misinformation
My son thinks that you crack off your penis and hand it to a woman. He said that's never going to happen. He's so misguided that I thought this book is going to be perfect for him.
And it's one of these books, you don't have to start in the beginning and read all the way through. You can just kind of dip. It's called a dip-in book. Just, you know, if you want to know about acne.
I've got all my stickies.
I want to know about bullying, sexual identity.
I want to dip in because I love you as an actor. I've always loved you, as you know. What made you do The Butler?
Well, I wanted to work with Lee Daniels. I thought the script was just fantastic. I have an adopted daughter who came from the Black Panthers. I like the fact that it touched on all those periods of time, and I wanted to play Nancy Reagan. And I thought I did a really good job.
You did.
I think she's happy.
I'm so honored. I mean, you're one of my most favorite heroes, and I respect you so much. And thank you for writing this book that was so well needed. So.